Welcome, everyone. If you're a physician tuning in, I'm going to guess that you're exhausted. I'm Dr. Sarah Chen, a family physician, and for years I felt like I was drowning. Not in patient care, which I love, but in, well, everything else. The paperwork, the inbox, the endless clicking. It was stealing my time, my energy, and frankly, my joy for medicine. And I'm Dr. Michael Rodriguez. I'm an ER doc, and I also teach medical informatics, so I come at this from a tech and data perspective. Sarah's story is one I hear constantly, and the data backs it up. This isn't just a feeling, it's a measurable crisis. Today, we're not just going to talk about the problem. We're going to give you a practical, hands-on guide to start reclaiming your time. This is about survival in modern medicine.
It really all starts with this number, this ratio right here, 2 to 1. This was the number that for me just put everything into perspective. It means that for every single hour I get to spend face-to-face with a patient doing the work I was trained to do, I'm spending nearly 2 hours on administrative tasks.
And to be clear, this isn't an exaggeration. This comes from major studies like the one in the Annals of Internal Medicine. They followed physicians and found this exact ratio. It's the pajama time phenomenon, the hours after a full clinical day spent catching up on the electronic health record. It's not sustainable. And it's a primary driver of the burnout crisis we're seeing everywhere. This number is the disease we're trying to treat today.
Exactly. And that leads right to this feeling. I remember before I started using these tools, I'd get home, my kids would be in bed, and I'd open my laptop, and just this wave of dread would wash over me. The weight of all those open charts, the unread messages, the prior auth denials, it's a feeling of being on a hamster wheel you just can't get off of. It's not just physical tiredness, it's a deep cognitive exhaustion.
It's a profound sense of disillusionment. You go into medicine to help people, to solve complex problems, and you find yourself functioning as a data entry clerk for a huge chunk of your day. That quote really resonates because it's the shared secret of our profession right now. We are collectively exhausted.
And the consequences of that exhaustion are just massive. We call it burnout, but that word almost doesn't do it justice. It's a full-blown professional crisis. It leads to medical errors, decreased patient satisfaction, and physicians leaving the profession entirely. When you're spending 2/3 of your time on administrative work, something has to give.
And what gives is, well, everything. It's the few extra minutes you wish you could have spent with an anxious patient. It's being distracted at your kid's soccer game because you're mentally running through your unfinished charts. It's the erosion of your personal life and the core mission of your professional life. It's not just about being tired, it's about losing the very parts of your life that matter the most.
Okay, so we've painted a pretty grim picture because it is a serious problem. But now let's pivot to the solution. I want you to imagine something. What if you had the world's most efficient resident working for you? One who has read literally every medical paper ever published, can write a flawless referral letter in 5 seconds flat, never gets tired, never needs to sleep, and never complains about paperwork.
I would have loved that as a real resident. But this isn't science fiction. This is a very real analogy for what AI language models can be when you learn how to instruct them properly. This is about giving you a powerful assistant to handle the grunt work so you can get back to being the doctor.
So let's properly introduce this new AI assistant. The goal here isn't to add another complicated piece of technology to your already overwhelming day. Absolutely not. The goal is to introduce a tool that takes tasks off your plate, dozens of them. This is about fundamentally changing your workflow to offload the draining, repetitive work that burns you out.
Exactly. We're talking about working smarter, not harder. It's about delegating the 80% of administrative tasks that don't require your top-level clinical judgment, freeing you up to focus on the 20% that only a physician, only you can do.
So what is this skill? At its heart, AI prompting is simply the skill of giving clear instructions. That's it. Think back to that resident analogy. If you tell a junior resident, hey, go check on that patient, you're going to get a vague, unhelpful result. But if you say, go get a set of vitals, ask specifically about chest pain, and report back to me with the EKG findings, you're going to get exactly what you need.
It's the art and science of instruction. It's learning how to talk to the AI in a way it understands to get a clinically useful and accurate response. The quality of your input directly determines the quality of your output. Garbage in, garbage out. Precision in, value out.
Now, this next point is probably the most important concept we'll discuss for building trust in this technology. AI is here to augment your intelligence, not replace your clinical judgment. This is a non-negotiable distinction.
Absolutely. Look at the tasks on the left. Drafting, translating, generating. These are clerical and communication tasks. They're cognitively demanding, but don't require a medical license to perform. Now look at the right. Making decisions, examining a patient, using your years of experience. That is and always will be your job. The AI is a tool, like a stethoscope or an ultrasound. It provides data and drafts, but you are always the final arbiter. You are the clinician in charge.
And to use that tool effectively, you have to understand what it actually is. An AI language model doesn't think or understand like a human. It's a hyper-sophisticated pattern recognition machine. It has been trained on a massive data set of text and code from the internet, and its entire function is to predict the most statistically likely next word in a sequence. It has no true understanding, no consciousness, and certainly no common sense.
That's why it's not a mind reader. If your instruction is imprecise, it will just guess at the pattern you're trying to evoke, and it will often guess wrong. Precision is the key that unlocks its incredible power. You have to spell everything out for it.
So how do we get that precision every time? You don't need a degree in computer science, you just need a simple framework. We call it the SIF framework, and I think of it as a recipe. If you include all 4 ingredients, you're going to get a great result almost every single time.
It's a mental checklist that ensures you're giving the AI all the information it needs to be genuinely helpful. This takes the guesswork out of it and turns prompting from a random art into a reliable science.
Okay, let's break down the recipe. CIFE stands for Context, Instruction, Format, and Examples. Context is the who and why. You tell the AI its role. For example, you are a medical scribe summarizing a patient encounter. Instruction is the what, a clear, direct command. Draft a SOAP note.
Then comes format, the how. This is where you control the output. Structure the note with clear S, O, A, and P sections and use bullet points for the plan. And finally, for more complex tasks, examples. This is the show me. You can literally paste in a good example of what you want, and the AI will mimic that style and structure. CIFE, context, instruction, format, example. That's the whole system.
All right, enough theory. The only way to really believe this works is to see it in action. So now we're going to walk through 5 quick wins. These are practical applications you can take, adapt, and start using literally today to see an immediate impact on your administrative workload.
We've picked these 5 because they represent some of the most common and time-consuming tasks that physicians face. This is where you'll get the biggest bang for your buck right out of the gate.
And let's start with my personal nemesis, and I think a universal source of agony for every doctor out there, the prior authorization. I mean, just saying the words raises my blood pressure. It is the definition of bureaucratic friction that gets in the way of patient care.
The data on this is insane. The amount of physician and staff time wasted on these is astronomical. It's a perfect task for AI because it's formulaic, it's text-based, and it requires pulling together information into a persuasive argument, all things a language model excels at.
Okay, so let's see SIF in action. Look at the left. This is what most people do when they first try AI. Write a prior auth for Ozempic. The output you'll get from that is a completely generic, useless template that you'd have to rewrite from scratch. It actually creates more work. Now look at the right. This is a precise SIF prompt. Let's break it down. Context. For a 52-year-old male with type 2 diabetes, HbA1c 8.5%, who has failed metformin. All the key clinical details are right there. Instruction. Draft a prior auth letter. A specific task. Format. Use professional tone, keep under 300 words. Clear guardrails for the output. The difference in the result you'll get is night and day. And this is the kind of language you get back. It's not just a blank template. It's a nearly complete argument. It hits all the key phrases the insurance companies are looking for. Medical necessity, alternatives are insufficient, supported by clinical guidelines. It does the heavy lifting of crafting the persuasive language. You still have to review it, of course. You verify the details are correct and sign your name to it. But it takes a 15-minute writing task and turns it into a 1-minute review and edit task. Multiply that by all the prior auths you do in a week, and the time savings are enormous.
And as Sarah said, prior auths are just the beginning. Think about translating complex medical concepts into simple, 5th-grade level explanations for patients to improve health literacy. That's a huge win for patient care. Or using it to brainstorm a differential diagnosis for a complex case. It can help you check your own cognitive biases, like anchoring on an initial diagnosis.
I use it for referral letters all the time now. It takes seconds. And summarizing the latest research paper from a journal, instead of spending 30 minutes reading, you can get the key takeaways in 30 seconds to decide if you need to read the full thing. Each of these is a small win that adds up to hours back in your week.
Let me give you my own real-world example. This is my story. Before I started using these techniques, I was that doctor doing pajama time charting. Every single night, after my kids were asleep, I'd face another 2 hours of documentation, inbox management, and paperwork. I was on the fast track to complete burnout. I was considering leaving medicine.
And this isn't an unusual story, which is the tragedy. This is the norm for so many primary care physicians.
So I started integrating these AI prompts into my workflow. First for my chart notes, then for patient messages, then for referrals. And look at the result. My nightly administrative time went from a soul-crushing 2 hours down to about 45 minutes, sometimes less.
That's over an hour a day. That's more than 5 hours a week. That's over 250 hours a year of your life that you just got back. I mean, think about what that means. That's not just a number on a chart. That's time to read a book, go for a run, have dinner with your partner. It's a life-changing amount of time.
This brings us to a really powerful and I think very true statement about the future. There's a lot of fear out there about AI replacing jobs, but in a professional field like medicine, that's the wrong way to look at it. AI isn't going to replace a doctor's empathy, clinical judgment, or procedural skills, but it will create a massive efficiency gap. The physician who can see more patients, communicate more effectively, and finish their day on time because they've mastered these tools will have a significant advantage over the physician who is still stuck doing everything manually. It's not about the tech replacing you, it's about you using the tech to become a better, more efficient version of yourself. And so that really is the final question we want to leave you with. This isn't some far-off future technology. This is here, right now. The tools are accessible, and as we've shown you, the techniques are simple and learnable.
The paradigm shift is happening. The choice is whether to be an early adopter and reap the benefits of efficiency and time savings, or to wait and risk being left behind. So the only question left is, which doctor will you choose to be?